Dang, what about, well, I guess I definitely want to get into Watch the Throne. Oh, wait, sorry, real quick, Runaway. Runaway first.
Yeah, I mean, that one's funny because like we worked a long time on Runaway trying to figure that out. I think Emil Haney had like the original idea together with Kanye, but the music was kind of had a lighter feeling, and then it took us a while to kind of get that really dark feeling going. And then Kanye mentioned, he's like, oh, I want to have like this, I think we should have this like bell that goes with this, the snare, bing, bing, bing. So I was like kind of programming that. And then I had I had this on my little tiny controller and I was just programming that. And then I felt like I was in the wrong octave. So I switched the octave and it went,
no
and
way.
then I switched it back. I was like, that wasn't right. And then and I did it again. I was like, that actually sounds kind of cool.
Right.
Doing it like that. So I'm just doing it on this little controller.
Oh my God,
right?
you literally freestyled.
And that became this like, I mean, it's not freestyle. It's like kind of like the process of composing, but
okay.
But yeah, that became such an iconic, haunting thing.
Sure.
And Kanye kind of picked up on that, like, whoa, that is so fire. And then I was like, man, and then you should do that in the show. Like, and it's so amazing that just that note can just bring a stadium to its feet, right? It's just amazing testament to like the minimalism, the aesthetic of minimalism and how much you can do with one note.
Right.
It's just, that is one of my favorite compositions I've ever done with Kanye. Yeah.
For sure. Man, well, getting into Watch the Throne, you mentioned Hawaii, but just what was that vibe? How was it working with Jay-Z?
I mean, that was amazing. And that time, that my experience in Watch the Throne was really, he flew me out to Australia.
What?
And I had like the worst cold in history. I had like the flu. And it's kind of like, well, let me just go out here. It's kind of like one of those things I was saying, like when he calls, you get on that plane. I didn't really have much, or so I thought. And he said, come on, man, I know you got something in that laptop. And coincidentally, I had just done this like orchestral thing, And I pulled that out and went crazy and then wrote the melody and Beyonce's there singing the melody in this mansion that we're renting and Jay's there like doing his lyrics, which I leaked in Twitter.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I kind of got in trouble for that, but I was kind of young and dumb and impressionable. I did not understand. I think I tweeted like, anyway. But there's like music like that. It's amazing that like it takes someone like Kanye to pick that. Totally. I don't know if anyone else would pick that music to be like, that's going to be on my album.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like orchestral. It's like in kind of an odd time signature. But that was kind of my only contribution to Watch the Throne, as I recall. But just so amazing to, of course, a moment where you're like, oh my God, like I'm producing a record and part of a record that is like Jay-Z, Kanye, and Beyonce, and we're all sitting at the dinner table, and just like there's Beyonce singing this in the living room, like this is. Pinch me. I'm in the equivalent of like, working with like Grace Kelly and Humphrey Bogart, just these classic, iconic artists that you're just like rubbing shoulders with, and just like watching Jay-Z trying to kind of like fix the VCR and just like living life with like the family that you never had, or it's like royalty, they're just like royalty, and all of a sudden you're, after maybe wandering in the desert, you find this family that kind of embraces you and kind of like maybe for all, even despite your flaws or any kind of mistakes you make or offenses you commit, that you can be forgiven, you can be embraced as a human that is flawed and makes mistakes, and see how regally and with how much dignity and how much thoughtfulness and beauty they all carry themselves with. It's just like so inspiring. Just like, I mean, I'm kind of like getting teary eyed, like thinking about it, that's your life that you stumbled into and all the hard work you put in, and that someone recognizes it,
Right,
and that
for
it's
sure.
them,
Right.
That's crazy. It's just
Right.
insane.
Right, definitely. How was it just having Kanye and Jay-Z's different styles combined in the studio? What was that synergy like?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to witness because they have quite a different demeanor, but then they also obviously appreciate one another's gifts and know how to kind of combinate and accentuate one another. I mean, it's always incredible. I would always be kind of terrified when Jay was like in the studio, because I'm just kind of like, it's kind of like the Godfather, like
Right.
there. It's like you just kind of like, but more and more, like he's just such a positive, and like it's so interesting to see him be able to navigate as a business person and as a leader and as a person who speaks softly and carries a big stick, maybe so to speak, like
Right.
not in any kind of like physical sense, but just as far as his impact that he can have as an artist and a person. And then also just be a pure poet,
Right.
like watching him create his verses and the triple entendres that he creates, just so cool and inspiring, that level of artistry and entrepreneurship that is kind of unique to rap, I think. Like you go to other genres and other countries, like my baby mama Leaky Lee is from Sweden, and I got really inspired, like seeing like their indie scene. And
Wait, who's your baby mama?
Leaky Lee,
The artist?
yeah,
No way.
yeah,
Legally 4-7, right? Or no? Oh, wait.
not the
Oh.
no I follow.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
follow. But like in Sweden, they have like socialism. They're like, they're artists. They're like doing art. And they want to be successful,
Right.
but they kind of have what they need.
Right.
So there's not this whole aspirational aspect to it to get money and fame and pull yourself out of like your situation.
Right.
Which is also beautiful too, but it's interesting seeing like those different dynamics, how far like people can push, and to see where they are now
Right.
as like becoming an owner rather than the player.
Right.
Right. I think that's just like incredibly empowering, like how far they've taken their careers and their lives while maintaining their artistic integrity is
Right.
just an incredible feat.
Definitely.